What's good? It's Santi with another video, and this one will be entitled "The Scales Will Be Balanced." You know, one thing you have to do on this journey is be willing to take your experiences head on. Because I had experiences where people were looking at me as if I was the villain. You know what I'm saying? But the decision that I had to make within those situations went against the norm. You know what I'm saying? It went against everybody's idea of who I was supposed to be. And it showed a deeper aspect of myself. You know what I'm saying? That is more rooted in my own authenticity, you know. And people around you can be giving a perspective from just from their own narrow-mindedness and kind of making less of what you had to experience because they weren't necessarily invested in it. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of people that made a mockery of what I was going through and tried to make light of it and made it seem like it just wasn't that serious because it didn't really involve them. They weren't the person that the situation really revolved around. They ended up finding themselves going through a similar situation, or it was even worse than mine. And I would end up being the one that they came to. Because I got homies, I got homeboys, you know what I'm saying, and I could say their names. And if they watch the video, they should know who they are. You know what I'm saying? But they end up coming and confiding in me. And I would bring up the situation, hey, remember when this was going down? And you were saying this and that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why you were so detached from it was because it didn't involve you. But then when you end up going through a similar situation, look how it had you. You didn't know what to do, but you were so quick to tell me what to do in my situation, or make it seem like how I was reacting was because, I had more of an attachment. You know what I'm saying? But if you were in my position, you would see how it wasn't really an easy situation to navigate. But unlike them, I stood in my truth. Because in those situations when they experienced it, they didn't know who they were. They didn't know who they were, but I knew who the fuck I was. Even if the situation didn't have the outcome that I pretty much, with some situations, I didn't necessarily have an outcome in my mind because I was so caught up in the situation as it was then. You know what I'm saying? And so there's multiple situations where the situation happened, I deal with the emotions from it, and then I will move on. And then those same people that the situation was involving, they will come back around. So one particular situation was a falling out I had with one of my best friends at the time, and him and his girlfriend. Now they met through me back in high school, and of course I was a freshman. His girl was a freshman, but he was still in high school, and we were both freshmen in college and whatnot. But she was always hanging around. There was a lot of situations where she was just being bossy. You feel me? She was just being bossy. And then a situation happened one night. He got drunk. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't get in contact with him. He cut his phone off. She hit me up. She at a house party, gets into an altercation with these females. She goes back to her mom's house. Her mom ain't trying to hear that shit. It's already late at night, and the chick, she crying and stuff and all of her feelings. So I hop up in my whip. I'm like, look, I'm gonna come over and just chop it over. Nowhere did I have the intent of trying to take advantage of her in an emotionally stressful situation, nor have I ever been attracted to her or interested in her in that way. Okay? I told her some things in confidence because I felt bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, at that time, from what I thought, she was in a relationship with my boy. I thought they were committed, in a committed relationship. So when we was going out, I didn't realize, I was like, damn, he was doing all this. Where I fucked up at is that I end up getting pulled to one side instead of remaining neutral and not being so caught up in the situation. The situation never involved me anyway because they were both dealing with each other and they were dishonest with each other. She was even messing with females. He was messing with other chicks and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I revealed to her some things that had happened when we went out. Though he didn't mess with any females when we went out. But it's just some shit that I felt bad about because I was like, damn. When she told me the key in any situation is to get both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? And she was paying herself to be the victim. Now I ain't but like 17, 18 at this time when this shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up having a falling out. And that following day after it happened, I had something in my gut told me that something was going to happen. Because that night she told me that she wasn't going to tell her dude, which was like my best friend at the time, she wasn't going to tell him that she got that information from me. But that next day I had a feeling. I knew I had a feeling. I was like, nah, she going. And something in my gut was telling me. And so he hits me up that next day. And he tells me that he pretty much would you know, Tip said you did this. Well, her name was Tiffany, but she went by Tip. We called her Tip. She said this and she said you said this and you did this. I was like, bruh. But she twisted it up and made it seem like I was coming from another angle, and I just came out and was telling her all this stuff. But I felt guilty, which is why I was telling her that shit, even though I shouldn't have had no reason to feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? But it was because I was so immersed in the situation and I was taking the brunt of shit that really I shouldn't have been feeling guilty about because it wasn't me who committed the act. But knowing who I am, I wouldn't have done this shit if I was in a relationship with a female. I'm not gonna be chopping it up with other females or talking or entertaining other women or texting, having women send me nude pics and shit like that if I'm in a committed relationship with one woman. You feel me? So just to speed it up, she ended up just like, I remember like that following week and shit, you know, I was hanging outside of class. We in college and shit. I'm hanging outside of class and stuff, just chilling. She come and say and talks to everybody but me, just blatantly ignore me. You know what I'm saying? At this time we had MySpace. She disrespected me on MySpace. She was just talking all types of shit, disrespecting my set, cause y'all know I'm Black Flag. She disrespected my set and was just saying all types of shit. So that shit hurt because it's like, you know, I was made the scapegoat of a situation that was not my fault to begin with. They had lack of communication. They didn't, you know, they were dishonest with each other, immature and things like that. So we speeded up. I didn't talk to her. I would run into him from every now and then. And it was a situation where, you know, it's like I moved on from that. That shit hurt, but I moved on from it. You know what I'm saying? And so me having moved on from it, it's like I went on, I had new experience. I'm traveling different places. I let go of that friendship with one of my, what I consider to be one of my best friends at the time. I changed and evolved and just became more of my authentic self. And then she ended up reaching out to me last year wondering why we fell out and stuff. And she was apologizing because she didn't really know. You know what I'm saying? But she felt bad because she didn't fight for my friendship because she came out and she said it. She was just like, you were one of the few men that actually, besides the guy that she was with, Will, which was my homie, was my best friend at the time. She was like, you were one of the few guys that actually respected me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I've never been, like I've always had, like, I'm pretty much a balanced guy. Like I'm cool, I'm calm, but then when you piss me off, I'm angry, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no back treading, no indecisiveness. Like when you cross that line with me, we're done. You know what I'm saying? Even if we make amends, like I've detached and we're not going back to what it was. And so when she came to me and we talked, she hit me up and we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, she's regretful of never having fought for that friendship with me. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, look, I said, after that, after that situation, and then probably like like a relationship that I was in, I said, that's the last relationship that I ever fought for. I said, I don't fight for relationships no more. Friendships, family connections, I said, I don't fight for that. Because that's not authentic to me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she was just like, she hopes that the lines of communication can open again and we can reestablish that connection. I was like, I appreciate you coming to me and addressing the situation. You know what I'm saying? I was like, because people take a lot of things for granted. You know what I'm saying? People take a lot of things for granted, and they take time and energy for granted too. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you stand in your truth, you may not necessarily get the outcome that you want in that time, but eventually you'll be able to see the benefits from it from you, because then you start to see who you really are and what you're capable of, and you won't compromise your values for no bullshit out here. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll realize, dang, the things that I did back then when I stood my ground and I stayed true to myself, you start manifesting stuff down the line that you didn't realize you were manifesting from that. And that's why you gotta know yourself. You feel me? And even though I was just like, we could reestablish connection, it's just like I moved so far from that. You know, like I moved so far from that, and it's just like I might hit her up from time to time, but I'm so consumed in the reality that I got now and the possibilities that could come from it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so caught up in just what I'm manifesting right now. You know? And so having old people that I cut off try to come back around because they realize how much they need me. Because they see how I'm able to, you know, the things that I'm able to go out and do, and how I'm able to connect with people, and just how I'm able to manifest. And it's just like, and how I go about things, and my energy is like, it's not something that somebody else can just mimic. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? And so remember that the scales will be balanced from exes and stuff. When you focus on yourself and do what you gotta do and live your life for you, you will see how things shift. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video, man. I dropped some more videos, man. You know, just pertaining to this topic and how things can shift and realign with you when you're standing in your truth. And though you may not see it, the possibility of it in that moment, you know what I'm saying? Things can shift at any time when you start understanding energy and being in tune with your true nature, and how that energy goes out into the cosmos and in the universe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, y'all tu sabes, you already know. You know, love, salud.